How many students would join without? Would join without? So we live on YouTube. Let me go live on TikTok. Wonder how many students would log in. I'm going live very randomly. Yeah. So we live very randomly. So we live both on TikTok and YouTube. We're doing some MCQ questions tonight. Yeah, so you can share the live as I promised on TikTok. Um, we'll be doing some past paper practice. Well, not past. We'll be doing some CSEC multiple choice live. Just passing by on a break. Okay. Sorry, can you get a good grade with paper one and SBA? Depends on what you did in paper one. Now let's talk about the exam for a bit. Before I work through these paper ones, let's talk about the exam. Let's talk about paper two exam. There've been lots of concerns as it relates to the exam. By the way, I saw somebody said, anyways, so there've been lots of concerns as it relates to the paper. I've seen the messages, I've seen the screenshots, I've seen statuses, WhatsApp statuses, and forwarded things from my students. Unfortunately, people are saying that I think I saw one recently that I don't know, somebody said the paper two is scrap. No, that is not true. The paper two will be marked as it is. There's no issue with the paper two. It will be marked. So wherever you see, wherever anybody is telling you, that is not true. The paper two will be marked as normal. I know if that is good news or bad news. Oh, the exam was, I don't know, depending on who you are as a student, you will have different conclusions as relates to the exam. Um, you know. But all in all, it's in the past. That exam is gone. It's time to move on to paper one. Paper one can help you to pass, but that will depend on what you did in the paper two. If you score, if you at least, scrape at least a 30, you stand a chance in passing. So I heard paper one going to get marked more. No, that is false. The paper one is 30% of your grade. Paper two is 50%, and the SB is 20%. That would not change. I'm not sure. Now we have to learn as young adults going into the real world, you have to learn to differentiate between fake news and real news. Real news would come from reliable sources. In this case, a reliable source would be CXC. CXC is a reliable source, or the Ministry of Education from their official page. An unreliable source would be a screenshot of a message, a screenshot of some status, a screenshot of some random thing. That would be an unreliable source. So we gotta learn to differentiate between fake news and real news, right? So as young adults going into the real world, careful. Careful with where you get your news from. All right. So let's talk about this exam. So I've seen lots of questions asking sorry if I get this, if I get this, can I still get this? If I get this, can I still get this? Now my answer to all of those questions would be to do your best. You already did your best in paper two. I would say if you attempted to answer all of the questions, I would say, don't worry about that. That is gone. If you attempted to answer all the questions. But if you don't make any attempt to answer, if you leave a lots of questions blank, then the highest mark a blank answer can give you is 0. But if you attempted, chances are whosoever marking it can make sense of what you mark, what you did, and give you some mark. So if you attempted to answer all, I would say you're okay for now. Now it's time to focus on the paper one. All right, so let's put that to the past. It doesn't make sense studying that. Another thing, I've been teaching for a while, right? And every year, I would see very bright students. One year, I saw a very bright young lady. She came out of an exam room and she was crying bitter tears, snot coming out her nose, her eyes were red. And she said the exam was hard and yada, yada, yada. She was crying. I'm not sure if anybody was in that position. So, and that same student went on to get a grade 2. She thought she would have failed. She thought she would have gotten a 5. She went on to get a grade 2. So I'm encouraging you, I'm using all of my experience to tell you, stop worrying about the paper 2. It's already gone. You did your best. Now let's move on to the paper 1. All right. So as long as you did your best, you attempted as many as you can, leave it. That is leave the rest of CXC. So let's tackle some paper ones. As I promised in my video, I'll try to do as many paper ones as possible. I'm seeing some of my students on this live and they did not come to class tonight. They're on the live, but they did not come to class. I won't call any names, but the name got a butterfly inside. So let's work some paper ones. So the first question says, what percentage of what percentage of 40 is 8? So what percentage of 40 is 8? I'm reading the comments. Anyway, so I'll drop the answer. So we're looking at number 1. Let me see. Let's have an interactive thing. Drop the answer. What percentage of 40 is 8? So YouTube. So I'm live on YouTube as well. For those of you that want to go over on YouTube, I'm live on YouTube. I'll be coming live on both. All right. So if you're looking at this video in the past, I just wasted about a lot of your time. So you want to skip through all this. So everybody's saying 20. So you can use some algebra to work this, or you can simply say 100 over 40 multiplied by 8. There's 0 go with that 0. 4 ones 4, 4 into 8, 2. 10 times 2 is 20. So the answer is B. 20% of 40 is 8. And you can work this back and see. 20 over 100 multiplied by 40. Let's see, that'll give you 8. There's 0 go with that 0. There's 0 go with that 0. 2 times 4 is 8. So indeed, it's 20. Gone clear. Next one, a very similar one, number 2. What percentage of 50 is 10? So this is a combination of papers. This is a combination of all the popular questions that would come. All right. So what percentage of 50 is 10? Let me see. So if you're on TikTok, I'm on YouTube as well, right? If you want to hop over. I know some parts this, or go live on YouTube as well. So what percentage of 50 is 10? So we know we'll do the same thing. 100 over 50 multiplied by 10. There's 0 go with that 0. 5 ones 5. 5 into 10, 2. 2 times 10 is 20 as well. So the answer is B, 20 as well. So we can do trial and error. Not trial and error. We can check our answer again. So 20 over 100 times 550 should give me 10. There's 0 go with that 0. There's 0 go with that 0. 2 5s, 10 indeed. So we know we got clear. So let me see. Let me not forsake the people on YouTube. All right, good. All right, we see y'all on YouTube. All right, let me put up this thing so I can monitor both. Somebody said they get blocked on YouTube. That's because you probably comment some nonsense on YouTube, right? That's why. Oh, you got the book. Oh, my bad, my bad. We gotta work on our spelling, right? So there are 40 students in a class. So this is number 3. There are 40 students in the class. Girls make up 60% of the class. 25% of the girls wear glasses. How many of the girls wear glasses? So One say I got for that. Drop that. Let me see. All right. So 40 students in the class. This is a very popular one. By the time you see this here, you should already know the answer. You should already know the answer. So 40 students in the class, girls make up 60%. So this is 60 over 100 times 40. There's zero, go with that zero. There's zero, that zero. 6 4 is 24. Girls make up 25% of the class. So 25 over 100 times 24. 25 ones, 25. 25 with 104. 4 divided by 24 give me 6. So you're looking at 8 there. So that is that. All right. So in a school, the ratio of the number of pupils to the number of teachers is 20 to 1. The number of pupils is 840. How many teachers are there? So let me see what we got. Everybody saying 42. You true, what we saying? You true, people quiet, man. So, so the ratio is 20 to 1. The 20 would be students and the 1 would be teacher. And if we have not students, pupils. So if we got 840 pupils, to find the value of 1 share, we got to be careful with this. So this would be 840 divided by the 20. A mistake that students would do, they would go add the 20 and the 20 and the 1, they get 21 and divide it. Now remember this 840 just represent the pupils alone, not everybody. So this 0 go with that 0, 2 ones, 2, 2 into 8, 4 would be 242. So how many teachers are there? So we got one shares for the 2. So for the 2 times the 1 would simply be for the 2, which is B. All right, so I see. And big up Pistonot on YouTube. Which year? Which year? Which year? Which year? Which year? It's a combination of questions. As you see the question pop up, you work, right? As you see the question pop up, work. It's a combination of different years, right? It's a combination. So 2 over 3 raised to the second power is equal to, let me call this number 5. So what is this equal to? All right, so 2 over 3 times 2 over 3 would simply be 2 2s 4, 3 3s 9. So 4 over 9, which is simply D. And this one here now, 2 over negative 3. 2 over 3 raised to the negative 3 power. Drop this one for me. Let me see. So this negative power here means if we want to change it to a positive power, it will become 3 over 2. And then this will be raised to the positive 2 power. So this will be 3 over 2 times 3 over 2. 3 3 is 9. 2 2 is 4. So 9 over 4, which will be D. By the way, so I'm not the students from Guyana, especially, right? Somebody I received countless messages tonight asking me if I have biology revision class because some link is saying that Sir Beaton has biology revision class tonight. No, no, Sir Beaton deals with mathematics, right? So anything you see outside of mathematics, it's not me. It's probably somebody that has the same name. Probably they should have used their first and last name. I don't know, but I I don't have if I do a biology revision, we will be studying together. I won't be teaching. We'll actually be studying together, right? I Maths is my area, right? And by the way, paper one, no calculator. So all these things you should be working, without a calculator. So this one, the square root of, let me call this one 7. So the square root of 181 lies between. So elimination with common sense would tell me that this is definitely out because 5 times 5 is plenty, right? And 9 times 9 is 81. 11 times 11 is 121. So that is out as well. And 11 times 11 is 121. 13 times 13 is 126. 169. So this is out. So by method of elimination and knowing my tables well, I know A is the answer. All right? And the other one, the square root of 191 lies between. So once again, 11 times 11 is 121. 13 times 13 is 169. That is out. 12 is 144. 13 times 13, that is out again. And definitely to know the last one is out because 5 times 5 is plenty. So the answer again is C. All right. So anybody that wants to look back at this video, it's on YouTube as well, right? I'm on YouTube. So people abuse me, but I'm not going live on YouTube. So this one, -3 raised to the second power plus -2 raised to the second power is equal to. So let me call this one 9. So -3 raised to the second power, that'll be the same as -3 times -3, which is 9, plus -2 times -2 would be 4. So 9 plus 4 is simply 13, which is C. Are we beating these paper ones, man? Y'all beat the paper two like that? Just like how y'all beating these paper one? Questions? Y'all beat the paper one, paper two, just like this, just like this. All right. Nice, 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 nice. So let's go. The number 3.14063 written correct. The 3 decimal place would be, so 3 decimal place, we count 1, 2, we call this one 10. 1, 2, 3. So the next number is 6. So we need to add 1 to this. So this will be 3.141, which will be B. Nice. Cried for paper 2. Now the last person that I know cried, they end up getting a 2, right? So let's hope the same luck will follow you. Next one, what is the value of the digit 2 in the number 48.621? The value of the digit 2. You know, the value of this one is 6 over 10 because it's tenths. So the value of the 2 will be 2 over 100 because it's 200ths. So 2 over 100, which is A. So don't go put 200. No, it's 2 over 100. Like I say, if you divide 2 by 100, you'll actually end up with 0.02, which is the same place as the 2 is here. All right? So let's look at this one. What is the value of the digit 6 in 48.621? The value of the digit 6. So the value of the digit 6, this one is tenths, 6 tenths. So it'll be 6 over 10, which is simply B. And if you divide 6 by 10, you get 0.6, which is in the same position as this here. Anybody has biology tomorrow on this life? Anybody has biology tomorrow and on the live? Which exam writing tomorrow? I think it's biology and what writing tomorrow? Biology. Okay. All right. So look at this one. What is the value of the digit? Oh, and IT. Right, biology and IT. All right. So the value of the digit 6 in the number 48.061. We already know this. This is A. And then we change it up a bit. What is the value of the digit 5? So we got 5 to the 7. The value of the digit 5, we know this is ones, tens, this hundreds. So the value of the digit 5 now would be I ain't seen nobody sending the one. What is the value of the digit 5? All right, the value of the digit 5 would be 500, right? 500. So yes, this is CXC. So let's go. If 4.3 times 0.37 is equal to that, is equal to 1.51. This one I'm looking at. Then 0.43 times 370 is. So we know we look at some people, I know some people would go and try to multiply this here. You know, they gave us this for a reason, right? So the decimal, based on how many times the decimal point move in the numbers, we gotta move it in the answer. So we see this jump back this side here one time, so we gotta jump this answer back one time. And then we see it 0.37 turn to 370, and we jump 1, 2, 3 times. So in the answer, we gotta jump back 1, 2, 3 times. This would be 159.1, which is C. You was asking which papers, you see the question pop up, you answer, man. Don't study which is a combination of questions. So this one now, very similar approach. So 4.3 times 0.37 is equal to 1.591. Then for the 3 times 0.37 is, so we see for the 3, we jump one time there. That means in the answer, we'll jump one time in that direction. And 0.37, that remains as 0.37. So this will be 15.91. So the answer is B. Somebody saying, warm to the biology. Warm to the biology. Now, no, that's not me. I am not this or beaten that is sending wrong some biology. That is not me. Right? So Leon will not send wrong anything like that. So Leon will come live and teach. Right? I wouldn't send wrong anything, right? That is somebody that has the same name as me, or probably they don't. I don't know, but it's not me, right? Somebody said I'm so much more lesson and this year was easy. Vicky, okay. Congratulations, Vicky. I'm happy. I'm happy that you said it was easy. Any Jamaicans in the chat? Yes, some Jamaicans in the chat here. All right, nice, nice. We got any trainees in the chat? I got a lot of Jamaicans, man. All right, so let's go. We got some TNT, sweet TNT. I know we got a lot of Guyanese. All right, so same thing, same concept. 235 times 48.7 is equal to this 11,444.5. 23.5 times 0.487 would be. So we see we jump back the decimal point one time. That means in the answer we jump back one time as well. And then we jump back 2 times. So that means the answer we jump back a further 2 times. So this would be 11.4445. Um, eh, oh, A. Well, I almost missed the answer there. A. All right, next one, 0.45 written in common fraction in the simplest form. So how I would tell my students to write this as a fraction, you just take everything behind the decimal point, you write back everything, And then you put it over, you put a 1, and based on the amount of digits you have, you put zeros in place of that. So this is 45 over 100. Remember, we don't have calculator to divide, so we divide 45 by 5. 45 by 5 should be 9, and 20, 100 divided by 5 should be 20. 9 5 is 45. So it's 9 over 20, which is A. All right. Any Guyanese in the chat? By the distributive law. All right, we are Guyanese. We remember we win in CPL this year again, right? Guyana win in CPL this year again, right? All right. So by the distributive law, let me not start. Let me not start a battle. Anyway, by the distributive law, this is equal to, so this is as if you got this 49 and you're distributing this 49 over the 17 plus the 3. All right. Oh my. Uh, So TikTok is suspending the live visibility. Wow, TikTok. Wow. All right. Wow. 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 So TikTok wants to cut off the live, right? So if the live cuts off, yeah, I gotta head over on YouTube, right? Wow. TikTok. Wow. Wow. All right. Wow. So let me see. Something is popping up. All right. So hold on, folks. All right. So let me just submit this appeal, see if TikTok will grant the appeal. My name on YouTube is my name, right? Leon. Leon Beaton. Sorry, Leon Beaton. All right, hold on, folks. Let me see. Submit. All right, I think it's submitted. Anyway, so so this will be for the 9 times 17 and 3 will be 20. So same as for the 9 times 20, which will be D. All right. So Q is equal to ABC. How many subsets can be obtained from set Q? So the number of subsets. Hey, somebody said somebody said the Trinidadian people reported it live because I said Warriors will win the CPL. Nah, man, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Anyways, the number of subsets, the formula for the number of subsets is 2 raised to the n power. The n will represent the number of elements we have. So we have 3 elements, so this will be 2 raised to the third power, which is D. All right. So it's always 2. The formula is 2 raised to the n power, right? So next one, another variation of this question. If A is equal to this, then the number of subsets of A is, so this will be 2 raised to the, we have 3 elements again, 2 raised to the third power. In this case, now it will be 2 raised to the third power is the same as 2 times 2 times 2. 2 2s 4, 4 2s 8. So here is 8. All right. It's another variation. Remember, I'll come live as I promised in the video, I'll come live as often as possible, right? So I probably gotta wait around my hands so that TikTok can see that I'm live. So I'll try to come live as often as possible. So if n is equal to m, if the number of elements in A is equal to m, then the number of subsets can be expressed as, so number of elements in set A is m. So remember the formula for subsets is 2 raised to the n, and n represents the number of elements. So in this case, the number of elements is m, so it will be 2 raised to the m power, which is simply A. So if the paper change, the concept will remain, right? If the paper, you're still learning how to work these things, right? So if the paper changes, the concept will remain. So if you want, so we have P being prime numbers, Q being odd, R being even. Which of the following sets is empty? So P intersect R would be the intersection between prime and even. We got an intersection there. I think 2 is an intersection, so that is not empty. P union Q, that is definitely not empty. P union P intersect Q, P intersect Q. Yeah, man, a lot of intersections there. So Q intersect R would be an intersection between odd and even numbers. So there's no number common, either odd or even. So the answer there is that. So if X and Y are two finite sets such that number of elements in X is 9, the number of elements in X intersect Y is 4, and the number of elements in the union set is that, then Y is, so we can say the number of elements in the union set would be 15 is equal to the number of elements in X, which is 9, plus the number of elements in Y, so I just put Y, minus the number of elements in the intersection, which is 4. So 9 minus 4 is 5. So when I take over the 5, it will subtract, so I have 15, subtract 5, which will be 10. So Y is equal to 10. So this answer here is C. So double check that. Let me see. 9 plus 10 is 19. 9 minus 4 would be 15. So yeah. How are we looking? How are we looking? Where did 5 come from? I subtract 9 and 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. So 5, and I take out the 5, it will subtract. So of a class of 32 students, 17 study music, 20 study art. What is the least possible number of students who study both music and art? So the similar thing will apply. We got 32 students in the class. So we know this will be 32 is equal to, so 17 study music. So 17 plus 20 study art. So plus 20. So 17 and 20 would give me 37. So 37. So if I minus the 37 from the 32, I'll get 5 students. So 5 students, the least number of students who study both would be 5 students. All right. So 5 students is the least number of students that can study both, which is B. If you want to know what I did, this would be 32 is equal to this minus, I can just say X and work this out, you'll end up with 5, right? So similar question. In a group of 40 students, 28 play tennis, 22 play chess. What is the least number of students who play both? Same thing will apply. We got 40 students in total, 28 play tennis, 22 play chess. So 28 plus 22 would give me 50. So the least number of students who play both would be 50 minus 40, which will be 10 again. So which of the following pairs of set is an example of a disjoint set? Similar to one that we did at the top. So disjoint mean they have nothing in common. There's no intersection between them. So E is even number, F is odd number. So obviously this would be the disjointed set because it's either even or odd. It can be both. So the set of positive integers that is divisible by 6 is an example of. So the set of positive integers divisible by 6, meaning another way you could think about this would be multiples of 6. So they didn't say a set of positive 2 digits. They just said a positive set of integers. So it would be 6, 12, 18, and you'll keep going on with the multiples of 6. It'll keep going on and on and on and on and on. So the answer for this one would be an infinite set because it keeps going on and on and on. And let's look at the different ones, very similar. The set of 2-digit positive integers divisible by 7. So 2-digit now, we have a limit. Can't go beyond 2 digits. So this will be 7, 14, and so on. So, and it will stop at 99. So this here would be a finite set. All right, it can be improper. It's not infinite because it will stop. It's not definitely not empty. So it's a finite set. Let's look at this last three and we'll call it a night. So if 30% of a number is 45, what is 4/5 of that number? 30% of a number is 45, what is that number? So just so we work this, we did 100 over 30 multiplied by 45. And this will help us to find that the number. So this 0 go with that 0. 3 ones 3. 3 into 45 is 15. So 10 times 15 would be 150. So 150 is the number, but we want 4/5 of 150. So 4/5 of 150 will be 4 over 5 times 150. 5 ones 5, 5 into 15, 3. 4 times 30 is 120. So the number, 4/5 of the number is B, which is 120. Are we looking? Are we looking? So they want 4/5. All right, next one. If 60% of a number is 90, what is 4/5 of the number? So the same approach we'll do. So 60% of a number is 90, so we can do 100 over 60 times 90 to get the number that we want. So this 0 go with that 0. 6 divided by 2 is 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 2 ones 2. 2 into 100. 50. 50 times 3 is 150 is the number again. And we want 4/5 of the number. So we found 4/5 of 120. Of 150 is simply 120. We just found it. So you can go through the working again. So this is C again. Similar one. So 12% of a sum of 12% of a sum of money is 140. What is the sum of money? Same concept apply again. Same concept applies. So 12 and a half. So I can say 12.5. So 100 over 12.5 times 40 will give us the sum of money. So 12.5 ones. The thing is 12.5 is half of 25, right? So if 25 can go into 100 4 times, that means 12.5 can go into 100 8 times. So 8 and 8 times 40. 8 times 4 would be 8 and 8 is 16, 32. So this is 320 is the sum of money, which is B. How are we looking? How are we looking? The TikTok still ban me? How do I know if I'm restricted? Anyways, TikTok enjoys banning me, man. I don't like that. Don't like the way TikTok is banning me, man. Oh, TikTok's approved. TikTok appealed, and we have reviewed and approved your appeal. Oh yes, I'm free, guys. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. They reviewed and they restored everything. I'm free. So we gotta celebrate. To celebrate, we'll do a few more questions. We gotta celebrate, right? We gotta cheer on TikTok. Big up to TikTok. They got it wrong and they fixed it. Let's do so our teacher biology now. Uh, what's the YouTube name? My name is I, I don't know, I fed up answer my YouTube name, you know. Anybody that asks my YouTube name, yeah, please reply to them. So Susan bought a calculator for 120. She pays a sales tax of 10% on the price. How much change would she receive from 140? So she bought this calculator for 120 and she pays sales tax. Sales tax means tax, anything you tax in, you add on, right? Tax means you add on. So 10% of 120. So 10% of 120 would be this zero go with that zero, this zero go with that zero. 1 times 12 is 12. We just love it when we add on, right? We just love it when zeros cancel out in in these questions. Love it. So 12 is the extra money, is the tax that you gotta pay. So 120 plus 12 would give you 132. So this is how much she paid. They want how much change you receive from 120. So 140 minus 132. So change from 140, not 120. So she will get back $8 in change, which is A. I'm a teacher information technology. There are two types of devices, input and output devices. Input would be devices such as keyboard, mouse. Output would be devices like speaker, screen, earphone. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. And RAM and ROM. RAM, random access. Random, no, read-only memory, ROM. RAM, random access memory. All right, and we got the operating system and so on and so forth. Let's go. So the cash price of a television set is $350. When bought on hire purchase, a deposit of 35 is required, followed by 12 monthly payments of $30. How much money is saved by paying cash? So hire purchase is the thing that we use in the Caribbean, in which we go and we go to courts. We pay down a certain money, and then each month we pay a certain amount of money for a length of time. Right? That is hire purchase. We use it a lot in the Caribbean. Some people abuse it. They take the zero down, put the wrong address, and they can't with the people chair set. All right. But anyways, the question says, the television set is $350. They put on $35, and then the 12 monthly installments of 30. So this would be 30 times 12. This zero go here. So 1 times, maybe we don't have calculators, so you gotta do mentally, eh? Not mentally, you gotta do the work. So 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 3 is 6. So this would be 360. And this would be, we gotta add the deposit, which is $35. So this would be 5, 9, so 395 is how much you paid when you do higher purchase. And then 350 cash, they want how much money you save by paying cash. So 395 minus 350 is 5 there. 5 from 9 would be 4. So far the $5 is saved by paying cash, which is D as in dog. All right, how many questions we did tonight? What time is it? So at the end of a year, a car is worth 5% less than it was worth at the beginning. If the car was worth 10,000 in January, then its value in December was so 5% less. This is depreciation. The price will decrease. So 5% less would be 5% of this 10,000. So 5 over 100 times 10,000. This 20 will cancel out there. 5 times 100 is 500. So 500 minus 10,000 will be 9,500, which is B. And the last one for the night, a car presently valued at $12,000 depreciates at a rate of 10% per annum. What will be the value of the car? What anybody saw what they did there? Anyways, what will be the value of the car 1 year later? Stop eating. So 1 year later, so depreciate again. So it's 10% of 12,000. These two zeros would go there. 10 times 120 would be 1,200. So we got to subtract. So this would be 12,000. Subtract 1,200. And this will give us 1,000 from that would be 11,200. From that would be 11,800. So B is the answer there. Is it B? No, 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 no. A is the answer. Wow. So 10,800. A is the answer. My bad. Careful. Gotta careful, careful, careful. That's how we can easily lose marks in paper one, right? Just a little slip. Nobody cares about all the working. Nobody cares about that. All they care about is which answer you shade on the answer sheet. So nobody cares about the working. Paper one, they gotta be careful. All right. And a little tip, if you need this tip, all right, let me just give the tip. So especially in your forest paper one, use the answer sheet, right? You're using the answer sheet just to shade the paper because I've unfortunately I've seen a student, everybody came out the exam and the young lady wanted to know, so everybody was talking about which answer they shade, and she didn't know, she had no idea what people were talking about because she shaded her answer on the question paper, and she submitted that, and she left the answer sheet blank without anything. And of course, she failed that exam. So make sure you circle the answer on the answer sheet. The answer sheet. Make sure you shade it. My bad, not answer, not circle. Shade it. Make sure you have the right type of pencil. All right, don't be like that young lady. She was like, that was crazy. Right, and it was an easy exam. Right, shade it. Make sure you have the right type of pencil as well. So let me end this live on YouTube and I'll continue on